Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Radhe Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpati Gopesh Gopikante Radhakante Namostude Tapte Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Che Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jai Mudire. बोलो श्री राधे गुरुकानंद भगवान की जय। बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा रजय, हरे कृष्णा रीना जी।
हरे कृष्णा भैया।
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा।
ऑलराइट, सो कल हम लोग वी वर रीडिंग 24th श्लोक ऑफ 24th अध्याय, कैंटो 5th स्कंद चल रहा है। एंड what we are reading in this particular chapter is about the planets below Earth, planets below Bhu. And as we know, there are 14 planets, right? And I don't know if you remember which are the 6 planets above Earth. Do you remember the names above Earth?
Bhu, Bhurva, Swaha.
Right. 3 are very clear, right? Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. Then above that, right. So there is a Mahar Lok. Above that is Mahar Lok. Then there is a Jan Lok. And there is a Tap Lok. Right. So like all those big Rishi Munis, right? They get to the Jan Lok and Tap Lok. Like during the pralaya of in between Yug cycles and all that, like or Manvantar, like after each Manu, everything below Mahalok gets destroyed, right? But the Mahalok, Rishi Munis who are staying there in Mahalok, Janlok, Taplok, and above that is Satyalok, right? Satyalok is the highest lok. So that's where Lord Brahma resides. So that stays till, so that's above the Bhu. And then how many planets we have below Bhu, below Prithvi? 7 planets, right? Below Bhu. Because total 14, 6 are above Earth, 7 are below Earth. And then what are those 7 planets?
Atal, Patal, something.
Right. So 2 you got, Atal and Patal.
Tal, Atal, Sutal.
Sutal, yes. Sutal is another one.
Charatal, I think, and then
Talatal, yes. Talatal is one. Right. So you have Atal, then Vital, Sutal. So below Bhu, right? In this order actually. So you have Atal, Vital, Sutal, Mahatal, Talatal, Rasatal, and Patal. Okay. So those are the 7 planets. So we have been reading, we read about Maharaj Bali and Vamandev and how Maharaj Bali is situated. So let's continue reading. So 24th, we'll just redo it. Let's restart this. Anilji?
Nunam Batayam Bhagwan Narteshu Na Nisranato Yo Savindro Yasya Sachivo Mantraya Vrata Ekantato Brahaspati Stam Tihaya स्वयमुपेन्द्रे आत्मना मानमया च तमन्श्वासिसो नो एव तद्दास्यमिति गम्भीर वयसः कालस्य मन्वन्तर परिवृत्तं क्यलोकत्रयमिदम्. Alas, how pitiable it is for Indra, the king of heaven, that although he is very learned and powerful, and although he chose Brahaspati as his prime minister to instruct him, he is completely ignorant concerning his spiritual advancement. Brahaspati is also unintelligent because he did not properly instruct his disciple Indra. Lord Vamandev was standing at Indra's door, but King Indra, instead of begging him for an opportunity to render transcendental loving service, engaged him in asking me for alms to gain the three worlds for his sense gratification. Sovereignty over the three worlds is very insignificant because whatever material opulence one may possess lasts only for an age of Manu, which is but a tiny fraction of endless time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So who is speaking this right now? Who is saying this? Right. So if you remember Bali Maharaj, yeah. So Bali Maharaj, Lord Vaman Dev, he took 3 steps. He took away everything from Bali Maharaj. Not took away, but Bali Maharaj was the biggest Dani. So he's asking for a Dan, 3 steps of land, and in 3 steps he conquers the whole world, right? Whole universe. And then also he puts him in some cave, and Bali Maharaj is still asking for the devotional service from the Lord. And when he's asking for that, he's also saying that how pitiable it is for Indra, because Lord Vamandev takes avatar based on what Indra and all Devatas request Lord Vishnu, right? Because Bali Maharaj is conquering the whole Om Bhur Bhuva Swa, right? So, so what Bali Maharaj is saying is that Indra Dev, he asked for all these 3 planets, but he should have been asking for the transcendental loving service. Because even this whole 3 worlds, right, for the sense gratification is insignificant, because whatever material opulence one may possess lasts only for an age of Manu, and that still is a huge number of years, right? But is still a tiny fraction of endless time. Yeah, because of the eternal time, even millions of years are insignificant, is what is being mentioned, right? Let's read the nice purport actually. So, Ajay.
Bali Maharaj was so powerful that he fought with Indra and took possession of 3 worlds. Indra was certainly very advanced in knowledge, but instead of asking Vamandev for engagement in his service, he used the Lord to beg for material possessions that would be finished at the end of one age of Manu. An age of Manu, which is the duration of Manu's life, is calculated to last 72 yugas. One yuga consists of 43 million years, and therefore the duration of Manu's life is 309 million years, 6 million years. The demigods possess their material opulency only until the end of the life of Manu. Time is insurmountable. The time one is allotted, even if it be billion of years, it's quickly gone. The demigods own their material possessions only within the limits of time. Therefore, Bali Maharaj lamented that although Indra was very learned, he did not know how to use his intelligence properly, for instead of asking Vamandev to allow him to engage in his service, Indra used him to beg Bali Maharaj for material wealth. Although Indra was learned and his prime minister Brahaspati was also learned, neither of them begged to be able to render loving service to Lord Vamandev. Therefore, Bali Maharaj lamented for Indra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So as we are talking about one Manu's life cycle, there are 72 yugas, yeah. And one yug is 4.3 million years. Yeah, one yug is 4.3 million years. And how is that? Because one yug has 4 yugas, right? That one yug cycle is Kali Yug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, and Satyug. Yeah. And do you remember how long is Kali Yug? Right. We did it a few times. I don't know if you remember. Duration of Kali Yug?
10,000 years?
No, I think it's 430,000 years.
Right. 432,000 years. Yeah. 432,000 years is Kali Yug. Then how long is Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug?
Double of that.
Double of that, right? Just keep adding 432,000. So that is 864,000. 864,000 years is Dwapar Yug. And then you add 432,000 to that. So which is around like 1.2 million something is Treta Yug. And so Satyug is around 1.6 or 1.7 million years. Yeah. When you total up all this, it will come to 4.3 million years. Yeah. And that is one yug. Multiply that by 72 is Manu's life. Yeah. And that is 309 million years. Yeah. And like this, there are 14 Manus in one day of Lord Brahma. Yeah. That's why it comes to 4,034,000,000 years is one day. So all these quantitative measurements are aligned. Like, so it's not just like it's a big number or something, right? Everything is very much aligned. Like, and that's where it's so authentic that all these numbers are true. Yeah. So anyway, the point here is, so Bali Maharaj is saying the best thing one can ask for is really rendering service to Lord Vishnu, right? And none of the other material benefits, even including all those planets' positions, are temporary. Yeah. Rina?
यस्यानुदास्य मे वास्म पितामहः किल वव्रे न तु स्वपित्रयं यदुता कुतो भयं पदं दीयमानं भगवतः परिमिति भगवतो परिते खलु स्वपितरि. Bali Maharaj said, "My grandfather Prahlad Maharaj is the only person who understood his own self-interest. Upon the death of Prahlad's father Hiranyakashipu, Lord Narasimhadev wanted to offer Prahlad his father's kingdom and even wanted to grant him liberation from material bondage. But Prahlad accepted neither. Liberation and material opulence, he thought, are obstacles to devotional service, and therefore such gifts from the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not his actual mercy. Consequently, instead of accepting the results of karma and jnana, Prahlad Maharaj simply begged the Lord for engagement in the service of his servant." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Bali Maharaj, as we know, is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Yeah. And we know that Prahlad Maharaj was son of Hiranyakashipu, right? And Lord Narasimhadev appeared at that time, right? So Bali Maharaj is saying that, excuse me, yeah, that Prahlad Maharaj, even at that time, when Lord Narasimhadev appeared, he asked for engagement in the service, yeah, or in service of Lord Narasimhadev, yeah, Lord Vishnu. Tasya mahanubhavasyanupatim vrijidakasayah ko vasmadvidah parihina bhagvadanugrah upajigamishtaiti. Bali Maharaj said, persons like us who are still attached to material enjoyment, who are contaminated by the modes of material nature, and who lack the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot follow the supreme path of Prahlad Maharaj, the exalted devotee of the Lord. Yeah, very difficult to follow the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj. It's mentioned here, Anil. Anilji?
It is said that for spiritual realization, one must follow great personalities like Lord Brahma, Devarshi Narad, Lord Shiva, and Prahlad Maharaj. The path of bhakti is not at all difficult if we follow in the footsteps of previous acharyas and authorities, but those who are too materially contaminated by the modes of material nature cannot follow them. Although Bali Maharaj was actually following the path of his grandfather, because of his great humility, he thought that he was not. It is characteristic of advanced Vaishnavas following the principles of bhakti that they think themselves ordinary human beings. This is not an artificial exhibition of humility. A Vaishnava sincerely thinks this way and therefore never admits his exalted position. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? Ajay?
तस्यानुचरित मुपरिष्टाद्विस्तरिष्यते यस्य भगवान् स्वमखिल जगद्गुरुनारायणो द्वारि गदापाणिवतिष्ठते निजज नानुकम्पति हृदयो येनाङ्गुष्ठेन पदादशकन्धरो योजनायुतं दिग्विजय उच्चचित्तः. Sukdev Goswami continued, My dear king, how shall I glorify the character of Bali Maharaj, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of three worlds, who is most compassionate to his own devotees, stands with club in his hand at Bali Maharaj's door. When Ravan the powerful demon came to gain victory over Bali Maharaj, Vaman Dev kicked him a distance of 80,000 miles with his big toe. I shall explain the character and activities of Bali Maharaj later in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Sukdev Goswami is of course telling this to my dear king Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah, that how do you describe Bali Maharaj's characteristics, right? Bali Maharaj is saying that on Bali Maharaj's door, even Supreme Personality of Godhead takes care of him. Yeah. And then he's saying that he'll describe more about the Bali Maharaj in the 8th canto. Which canto are we at right now?
5th canto.
5th canto, right? We are still on 5th canto. So there's a long way to go to get to 8th canto. Yeah, but that's where we'll also read more about Bali Maharaj. Rinaji?
ततो अधस्तात् तले मयो नाम दानवेन्द्रस्ते पुराधिपतिर्भगवता पुरारिनात्रिलोकीशां त्रिकिर्णशुना निर्दग्ध स्वपुरत्रयस्त प्रसादाल्लब्धपदो मायाविनामाचार्यो महादेवेन परिरक्षितो विगतसुदर्शनभयो महीयते. Beneath the planet known as Sutal is another planet called Talatal, which is ruled by the Danav demon named Maya. Maya is known as the Acharya or master of all the Mayavis, who can invoke the powers of sorcery. For the benefit of the three worlds, Lord Shiva, who is known as Tripurari, once set fire to the three kingdoms of Maya, but later, being pleased with him, he returned his kingdom. Since that time, Maya Danav has been protected by Lord Shiva, and therefore he falsely thinks that he needs not fear the Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So we read about Atal, Vital and Sutal, and now we are reading about Talatal. Yeah. So below Sutal is the planet Talatal, and Talatal is being ruled by demon named Maya. Yeah. And then Maya, of course, Tripurari Lord Shiva, he had taken away all the three worlds from him, but then he gave it back. And then he also protects him. And so what is being mentioned is that he falsely has the ego that, nothing can happen to him. And that's in planet Talatal. Anilji?
ततोधस्तान् महातले काद्रवेयाणां सर्पाणां नैकशीर्षां क्रोधवशो नामगणः कूकतक्षकालिसुये सुश्रेणादिप्रधाना महाभोगवन्तः पतत्रिराजाधिपतेः पुरुषवाहा धनवरत बुद्धिजमानाः स्वकलत्रापत्य सुहृत् कुटुम्बसंगेन क्वचित् प्रमत्ता विहरन्ति. The planetary system below Taratal is known as Mahatal. It is the abode of many hooded snakes, descendants of Kadru, who are always very angry. The great snakes who are prominent are Kuhak, Takshak, Kalia, and Sushena. The snakes in Mahatala are always disturbed by fear of Garud, the carrier of Lord Vishnu. But although they are full of anxiety, some of them nevertheless sport with their wives, children, friends, and relatives. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal. And then below Talatal is Mahatal. And in Mahatal, yeah, you see many hooded snakes and even prominent snakes, right? We have read about them, right? Like Takshak Nag, Kalia Nag, yeah, Sushen, they stay in Tala in Mahatal. Yeah. Yeah. Ajay? Ajay, unmute.
Oops, sorry. Tato udhastha ustaत्र सातले दैत्यो दानवः पणयो नाम निवातक वचाः कालेय हिरण्यपुरवासिन इति बिबुधप्रतनीका उपत्या महोजसो महासाहसिनो भगवतः सकल लोकानुभावस्य हरेरेव तेजसा प्रतिहत बलावलेपा विलेशया इव वसन्ति ये वै सर्मेन्द्रनृत्या वाग्भिर्मन्त्र वर्णाभिर्द्वान्द्वयति. Beneath Mahatal is the planetary system known as Rasatal, which is the abode of demonic sons of Diti and Danu. They are also called Panis, Nivata Kavach, Kalayas, and Hiranyapurasis, those living in Hiranyapur. They are all enemies of demigods and they reside in the holes like snakes. From birth they are extremely powerful and cruel, and although they are proud of their strength, they are always defeated by the Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who rules all the planetary system. When a female messenger from Indra named Sarama chants a particular curse, the serpentine demons of Mahatal becomes very afraid of Indra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it is said that there was a great fight between these serpentine demons and Indra, the king of heaven. When the defeated demons met the female messenger Sarma, who was chanting a mantra, they became afraid and therefore they are living in the planet called Rasatal. Reenaji?
ततो अधस्तात् पाताले नागलोकपतयो वासुकी प्रमुखाः शंखकुलिक महाशंख श्वेत धनंजय धृतराष्ट्र शंखचूड़ कमलाश्व तरदेव दत्तादयो महाभोगिनो महामर्षा निवसन्ति येषां ह वै पंचसप्तदशशतसहस्रशीर्षाणां फणासु विरचिता महामण्यो रुचिष्णवः पाताल विवरते निकरम सरोचिषा vidhamanti. Beneath Rasatal is another planetary system known as Patal or Naglok, where there are many demoniac serpents, the masters of Naglok, such as Sankh, Kulik, Mahasankha, Svet, Dhananjaya, Dhritarashtra, Shankhachud, Kambal, Asvatara, and Devadatta. The chief among them is Vasuki. They are all extremely angry and they have many hoods. Some snakes 5 hoods, some 7, some 10, others 100, and others 1,000. These hoods are bedecked with valuable gems, and the light emanating from the gems illuminates the entire planetary system of Bilaswarg. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the bottommost is Patal, and Patal is also known as Naglok. Yeah. So from topmost Satyalok, which is Brahmalok, bottom is Patal or Naglok. There is just one universe, and like this, there are innumerable number of universes in this materialistic world. Yeah. And thus, this ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 5th canto, 24th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Subterranean Heavenly Planets. Bolo Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Yeah. And like this is being explained by Sukdev Goswami ji to Parikshit Maharaj, because Parikshit Maharaj asked to know about this whole Brahmand, yeah, how the universe is situated. And so the next chapter is chapter 25, is about the glories of Lord Anand. Yeah. So we'll continue reading this and see the glory of Lord Anand. Anil?
तस्य मूलदेशे त्रिशद्योजन सहस्रांतर आस्ते या वै कला भगवतस्त तामसी समाख्यातानंत इति सात्वतीया दृश्ययोः संकर्षण महमित्याभिमानलक्षणं यं संकर्षण मिथ्या चक्षते. Sri Sukadev Goswami said to Maharaj Parikshit, "My dear king, approximately 240,000 miles beneath the planet Patal lives another incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the expansion of Lord Vishnu, known as Lord Ananta or Lord Sankarsana. He is always in the transcendental position, but because he is worshipped by Lord Shiva, the deity of Tamoguna or darkness, he is sometimes called Tamasi Lord Anant. He is the predominating deity of the material mode of ignorance, as well as the false ego of all conditioned souls. When a conditioned living being thinks, I am the enjoyer and this world is meant to be enjoyed by me, this conception of life is dictated to him by Sankarsana. Thus, the mundane conditioned soul thinks himself the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So now what is being mentioned is, we saw the bottommost planet Patal, but even below that, 240,000 miles below Patal, yeah, the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, yeah, is Lord Anand or Lord Sankarshan. Right, as we had read in the beginning, right, the fourth extension of Lord Vishnu was Sankarshan, Aniruddha, right, and we have two more, right, and Sankarshan, Aniruddha, and 2 more avatars. So like, and remember when you're reading about all different directions and all that, how different avatars of Lord Vishnu are situated. And we also read in Ilawat sectarian land, Lord Shiva is constantly praying to Lord Sankarshan. Yeah, he is praying to Lord Sankarshan, who is extension of Lord Vishnu. And because, of course, in mode of goodness, patience, and ignorance, right, Satogun, Rajagun, and Tamogun, Lord Shiva is the destroyer, and he is the Lord for ignorance, right, Tamogun, and he praying to Lord Sankarshan, that's why he is also sometimes called Tamsiya. So Lord Anand is based 240,000 miles beneath the planet Pada. Yeah. Yashvedam Kshiti Mandalam Bhagavato Anantamurteha Sahasra Shirasa Ekashmineva Shirshani Driyamanam Siddhartha Ivalakshate. Sukdev Goswami continued, this great universe, situated on one of Lord Anantadev's thousands of hoods, appears just like a white mustard seed. It is infinitesimal compared to the hood of Lord Ananta. Very important thing mentioned here, right? The whole this universe is situated on Lord Anantadev's, on one of thousands of hoods of Lord Anantadev. So Lord Anantadev is, of course, extension of Lord Vishnu. One of his hood is this whole universe is situated. And as we have read from Garbhodaksha Vishnu, right, you get innumerable number of universes. Ours is just one of the universe. Yeah. And so our universe is so small compared to the hood of Lord Ananta. Ajay?
यस्य ह वा इदं कालेनोप सज्जिहीर्षतो अमर्ष विरचित रुचिर्भद्र भ्रमद भूरंतरेण सांगकर्षणो नाम रुद्र एकादश व्यूहस्त्र शिखम शूल मुत अभ्यनुदति स्थित. At the time of devastation, when Lord Anantadev desires to destroy the entire creation, he became slightly angry. Then from between his two eyebrows appeared third-eyed Rudra carrying a trident. This Rudra, who is known as Sankarshan, is the embodiment of 11 Rudras or incarnation of Lord Shiva. He appears in order to devastate the entire creation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So as we know, there is constant creation and annihilation, right? Which happens after the Yug cycle, after the Mananvantar, right? Like after Lord Manu's life. And then also the day of Lord Brahma, right? That's when the huge pralaya happens, after the day of Lord Brahma. And that is managed by Lord Sankarshan. Yeah. As we know, Lord Shiva, as we know, right? The creator, destroyer, and runner, Lord Shiva is for the destroyer. He represents the destruction, and he prays to Lord Anantadev. Anantadev is the same as Lord Sankarshan, right? So what happens is, what is described is when the pralaya has to happen, this is how it works. Yeah. It says here, right, the 11 Rudras, expansions of Lord Shiva, come out of Lord Sankarshan's eyebrows due to his angry mood, and all of them together devastate the entire creation.
यस्यांग गृह कमल युगलारुण विशद नख मणि षण्ड मंडले अश्वहिपतयः सह सात्वतर्ष भैरकांत भक्ति योगेना वनमन्तः स्ववदनानि परिस्फुरत् कुंडल प्रभा मंडित गंडस्थलान्याति मनोहराणि प्रमुदित मनसः खलु विलोकयन्ति. The pink transparent toenails on the Lord's lotus feet are exactly like valuable gems polished to a mirror finish. When the unalloyed devotees and the leaders of the snakes offered their obeisances to Lord Sankarshan with great devotion, They become very joyful upon seeing their own beautiful faces reflected in his toenails. Their cheeks are decorated with glittering earrings, and the beauty of their faces is extremely pleasing to see. Hare Krishna.
यस्यैव हि नागराजकुमार्य आशासानाश्च वलये विलसित विशद विपुल धवल सुभग रुचिर भुजर जतस्तंभ अम्भेषु स्व गुरुचंदन कुंकुम पंकानुलेपेन वालिंप मानास्ततः विमर्शनोन्मतीथ हृदय मकरध्वज आवेश रुचिरलित स्मिता स्मिता तास्तद दुरागम उदिता विघूर्णितारुण करुणावलोक नयनबदनारविन्दं सव्रीणं किल विलोकयन्ति. Lord Anand's arms are attractively long, beautifully decorated with bangles and completely spiritual. They are white, and so they appear like silver columns, and the beautiful princesses of the serpent kings, hoping for the Lord's auspicious blessing, smear his arms with aguru pulp, sandalwood pulp, and kumkum. The touch of his limbs awakens lusty desires within them. Understanding their minds, the Lord looks at the princesses with a merciful smile, and they become bashful, realizing that he knows their desires. Then they smile beautifully and look upon the Lord's lotus face, which is beautified by reddish eyes, rolling slightly from intoxication and delighted by love for his devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare. Hare.
स एव भगवाननन्तो अनंत गुणार्णव आदिदेव उपसंहृतामर्ष रोष वेगो लोकानां स्वस्तये आस्ते. Lord Sankarshan is the ocean of unlimited spiritual qualities, and thus he is known as Anantadev. He is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the welfare of all living entities within their material world, he resides in his abode, restraining his anger and intolerance. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice poet. Let's read this, Rinaji.
Anantadeva's main mission is to dissolve this material creation, but he checks his anger and intolerance. This material world is created to give the conditioned souls another chance to go back home, back to Godhead, but most of them do not take advantage of this facility. After the creation, they again exercise their old propensity for lording it over the material world. These activities of the conditioned souls anger Anantadev, and he desires to destroy the entire material world. Yet, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is kind toward us and checks his anger and intolerance. Only at certain times does he express his anger and destroy the material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So one more slok, Anandji.
ध्यायमानः सुरासुरो रगसिद्ध गन्धर्व विद्याधर मुनिगणैर्नवरतं मुदित विकृत विह्वललोचनः सुललित मुखरिकामृत तेनाप्यायमानः स्वपार्षद विबुधयूथपतीन परिम्लानरगन बतुलसी कामोदम द्वासवेन माद्यन्न मधुर मधुकर व्रात मधुर गीत श्रियम वैजयंतीम स्वाम वनमालाम नीलवासा एक कुंडलो अलक कुदी कृत सुभग सुंदर भुजो भगवान महेंद्रो वारणेन्द्र इव कांचनीम कक्षा मुदार लीलो विवर्ति. Sukadev Goswami continued, the demigods, the demons, the Uragas, serpentine demigods, the Siddhas, the Gandharvas, the Vidyadharas, and many highly elevated sages constantly offer prayers to the Lord. Because he is intoxicated, the Lord looks bewildered, and his eyes, appearing like flowers in full bloom, move to and fro. He pleases his personal associates, the heads of the demigods, by the sweet vibrations emanating from his mouth. Dressed in bluish garments and wearing a single earring, he holds a plough on his back with his two beautiful and well-constructed hands. Appearing as white as the heavenly King Indra, he wears a golden belt around his waist and a Vajanti garland of ever-fresh tulsi blossoms around his neck. Bees, intoxicated by the honey-like fragrance of the tulsi flowers, hum very sweetly around the garland, which thus becomes more and more beautiful. In this way, Lord enjoys his very magnanimous pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So we will pause here and we will continue to read about Lord Anantadev. Yeah, next week. It's Wednesday, so we'll take a long week break and then meet again on Wednesday. Yeah. And let's hear a nice bhajan again from like Kripaluji Maharaj. And this is of Radharani and Lord Krishna. Very beautiful bhajan. Yeah, one of my favorites. So it's about 6 to 7 minutes. Yeah. Just hear that.
Shri Radhe barsane vari Nand Nandan Sukh Ghan Banwari. Shri Radhe barsane vari Nand Nandan Sukh Ghan Banwari. Shri Radhe वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी. श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी. प्यारी पर प्रियतम बलिहारी पिय पर प्यारी वारी वारी. प्यारी पर प्रियतम बलिहारी प्रिय पर प्यारी वारी वारी. प्यारी बनी गई कुंज बिहारी कुंज बिहारी बनी गए प्यारी. नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी. राधे राधे प्यारी ते प्यारे बनवारी बनवारी ते प्यारी प्यारी. प्यारी ते राधे बरसाने वाली नंद नंदन सुख धन बनवारी
यद्यपि है कृपालु बनवारी पर नहले पे दहला प्यारी यद्यपि है कृपालु बनवारी पर नहले पे दहला प्यारी
राधे बरसाने वाली नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी राधे बरसाने वाली नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी राधे बरसाने वाली नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी राधे बरसाने वाली नंद नंदन सुख धन बनवारी राधे बरसाने वाली नंद नंदन सुख धन बनवारी राधे बरसाने वाली नंद नंदन सुख धन बनवारी लाडली लाल की
All right, very beautiful bhajan. So it was a long weekend, and I think so. We have a program at Ajay's place this Saturday, right, Ajay?
Please come.
Yeah, Saturday को शाम को तो रीना जी आप तो आइए, टाउन में है.
हाँ भैया, so far the program है आने का.
Yeah, nice.
अजय जी कुछ हेल्प चाहिए हो तो बताइए.
Sure. बस आ जाइए.
It'll be nice. So Anil, like we keep generally, it's a Kirtan program at Ajay's place, Hare Krishna Kirtan program. So 6:30 to 8:30 and then Krishna.
6 to 8.
Okay. So we told him 6:30, I think Krishna Prabhu is it? Yeah, which is fine. I think everything gets settled. By 6:30 we can start. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So have a nice long week.
Krishna, everybody.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. See you back on Monday.